So the first story is from page 6, and it says, Netflix and Sony halt Will Smith projects in aftermath of Chris Rock slap. And all I can think about this is like, really? In an age where like people get into like, how many celebrities get DUIs on a fairly regular basis or get in trouble with the law? Ezra Miller just got arrested and thrown in jail and then had to get out on bond and then called and then yelled obscenities at the people that he got arrested or who got him out of jail, and he's not being pulled from any movies, that is for sure. Does this seem like a fair...
Well, do you want to teach your kids it's okay to smack people because they made a funny joke towards you? You don't want to teach kids that. And like right now Hollywood, it's like, oh, he's not the good example anymore.
I mean, you're probably right. What you're saying is absolutely right. Like that it's not, what he did was not set a good example, but I also don't look at Hollywood to be the bastion of honesty, truth, and goodness. So it's like, I would almost feel safer if they acted more like what they are, which is corporations, rather than supposed arbiters of truth, justice, and the American way, as if there's any Superman fans here. So it says, some of Will Smith's upcoming projects have been paused in the wake of the Oscar slap controversy. Did anybody call it Slapgate? They're missing out if they're not calling it Slapgate.
They didn't, but they should have.
It should have been called Slapgate.
We're calling it now. We're going to be the trendy ones calling it that.
Yeah.
Perfect. My favorite was the meme that says, did Will Smith just slap Chris Rock? And so he says, I don't know. I'm not a slapologist. The actor who stunned the world when he smacked comedian Chris Rock in the face for making a bald joke about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, has had a Netflix film and movie for Sony both put on hold, according to Hollywood Reporter. I find it interesting that it says that they call the Netflix one a film and the Sony one a movie. Is there a difference? One is art and one is not. So it says the Netflix is in the process of finding a new director. So he's got a movie coming out called Fast and Loose, which it says, from what I read, was like he plays like a drug kingpin with like memory problems, which sounds like it could be extremely bad, but at the same time, maybe not.
He doesn't know who's paid him.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah. So they lose their director on this, and then they're like, oh, well, maybe this is the perfect time to put this on the shelf because the actor himself is radioactive right now. But it's not just that. He resigned from the Academy. So this is from Deadline. It says, heartbroken Will Smith resigns from Academy ahead of decision on his future after the Oscar slap of Chris Rock. So I don't know why this all, like, I never felt like the thing was staged, but this response is so, to me, overblown that this part feels staged to me. Like they're overdoing it. Am I wrong here? Am I on the wrong side of this?
I thought people were going to come to Will Smith's defense because they were saying Chris Rock's joke was misogynistic.
Well, and ableist. Can it be considered?
Is alopecia a disability or just...
It's an illness? So I guess
I don't know.
It's some type of joke.
It's
healthist.
It's healthist. That's probably a term. Oh no, one of them they called it. What was it called? Texture. What was that one that somebody called it?
Texturism.
Texturism. Yes, they called it. They said it was rooted in misogynoir and texturism.
Yes. Hair texture?
I guess what they're talking about.
I'm still like upset because like I'm not gonna be on Jada Pinkett Smith's side for this, because she said like in a TikTok that she's not afraid and she's not embarrassed by her bald head.
So then she should live up to that.
Yeah. So shut up already. Sorry, I don't.
I also never put together until I started reading a bunch of articles about all this. I was like, Jada, and then they have a kid named Jaden.
Damn, you're dumb.
And then Willow.
Never.
That was on purpose.
No, Will and Willow I knew about because I'd watched something. But Jada and Jaden, I guess because I thought more of at the time when Jaden was coming up in this industry, there was more news about Will than there was about Jada. So I didn't really, I forgot about her for a while. But during this, I'm like, so they really just added letters. Good for them.
Yeah.
There's like me and my brother, our names are both start with B, but in the entire lifetime history of my family, I've maybe been called by my actual name 2 or 3 times, and the rest of the time I get called Ben, and he gets called. I don't know if he got called Brett as much as I got called Ben.
No, they always called the youngest one the oldest one's name.
And
like my grandparents used to call me by my mom's name a lot.
And frankly, I'm offended. We have the right to be offended by this. So it's like that's off to the side of these points. But the point is that he's kind of having his career pulled out from under him over like an incident where they didn't press charges. The cops chose not to press charges. Chris Rock chose not to press charges. Is it really fair to stop the dude from working?
Well, he's bringing it upon himself because I think if Will had done the Slapgate happened and he just didn't back down and was like, yeah, it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And I was standing up for my wife. I have principles. Then you can't really do anything with that. He resigned voluntarily.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think it's weird because he's going through this weird performative guilt after the fact. His wife, or Jaden, doesn't seem to have a problem with it. His wife kind of called for healing, which is the most nebulous of. I was like, you mean like Chris's face needs to be healing because of where he got slapped? Like, what does that even mean?
Will's hand.
Yeah, like did he get a blister? Did he get a cut on his hand from?
Well, apparently everyone was so traumatized and triggered.
That's
they need emotional healing from.
Oh my god!
witnessing
You know
that
what we should do?
situation.
We should sue them so we can get money for
We should
emotional.
sue them.
Yeah, we should sue them because emotionally they scarred us and visually they scarred us from that slap.
There was FCC complaints about this to the whatever, I don't remember what FC. It's like it's the networks, like where you complain if something happens on a network television that you want to be
Federal
like, this is
Communications. What?
Okay, so something
What
like
happened
that.
to my
But
brain?
the same thing happened to when Nipplegate, another gate happened with
What?
Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake at the Super Bowl in like 2004.
That was definitely staged.
That's like one of those ones where we did a thing where there's like a documentary about that just came out recently about like
about that.
about like how like her career kind of
That's crazy.
suffered and his didn't, and then they're like misogyny.
Misogynoir.
Yes, well, that would be technically kind of
I don't know.
misogynoir. It could be considered misogynoir, I believe, because of yes. But the point is that they're saying that there was a lot of FCC complaints about that as well. So we do have a right to make a complaint about being traumatized. It wouldn't make us very cool, but we could complain about that if we wanted to. What was it, Amy Schumer, or which one was the one
It
that
was
was
Amy
like?
Schumer, yeah.
What did she say?
She said that we were all triggered and traumatized or something like that.
This actually reminds me of after the last Terminator movie came out, Terminator, what was the Dark Fate? The movie did really bad, and the director says in an interview, he's like, "I'm processing the trauma." And I was watching a Clownfish TV video, and Geeky just dissolves into tears of laughter at the idea of this guy being like, people being mean to him about his movie on the internet is akin to trauma. And that's how these people think, you know, they're very disconnected from the real world. So to them, maybe watching one celebrity like open hand slap another celebrity as if it was like a Saturday Night Live skit from the 80s
Pretty tame.
is very, like you make all these movies where people do all this violent stuff to each other and you can't watch one dude slap another dude with an open hand. It's very sad. So Netflix is pulling this movie. It's called Fast and Loose, and I guess what the idea is, like, they're putting them all on hold for the time being to wait for this to blow over. It's weird because it doesn't feel like, if anything, they could ride this into a wave of like more viewership. Like,
Yeah.
people aren't happy with Will Smith, but this is so not the same level of crap that people are fighting about these days that it's not like he's not going to come back from this. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't them complaining about politics or religion or something else that people are extremely divided on, like, to their core. This is one of those things that's like, he slapped Chris Rock. Do I really care about Chris Rock anyways?
Nobody feels that strongly about it.
No. I think what it is, I think there's a side of people where they're like, all right, this is the stuff we can argue about now and not feel like you're going to, like, really hit people at their core issues, right? So it's the
Right.
bread and circus of complaining on the internet where we can have this to fight about and you don't have to fight about modern day wedge issues or the war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
You can complain about this stuff with your aunt on Twitter. You can fight with your aunt and your uncle on Facebook about this. And the boomers can have their take. You can have your take.
Yeah.
And at the end, you can still go to Thanksgiving dinner
Yeah, it's
together.
low stakes.
I think that's the best way to put it. This is what Americans, and it's not just Americans, because there's people like, I've seen takes from people in other countries about this. And I'm always like, this is why America is more awesome than you, because you're never going to see us fighting over like telenovela celebrities slapping each other.
Right.
So
or K-pop stars.
Well, we're gonna talk about that later. But
Oh no, they're mean.
that was actually I was actually when I just said that I was like, maybe I'm wrong though, because the I think I was like, maybe you're right.
No,
So
they take it very seriously.
and the people here take it very seriously. So I think people are just kind of soaking up the ability to have like this something else to complain about that isn't politics. So Fast and Loose it says would have followed a crime boss who loses his memory after getting attacked, embarking on a journey to discover his true identity as a man living a double life as a wealthy kingpin and a broke CIA agent. That is a hell of an elevator pitch to somebody. Like, that's a lot of moving parts there. But it says Netflix put the project, they put out like an urgent call for a new director after Leitch backed out. But then when this happened, they're just like, we're going to shelve it for now. And then Bad Boys 4, the fact that they called 3 Bad Boys for Life when they could have called Bad Boys 4 Bad Boys for Life is an extremely huge missed opportunity.
I'm confused.
It's okay.
What did you think they should have called it?
Well, Bad Boys 3 was called Bad Boys for Life.
Oh.
Why wouldn't they wait and call Bad Boys 4 Bad Boys for Life?
For life.
Yes, with a big boomer number 4.
Yeah.
It would have been fantastic. They could have done that very easily. So it says, for something that could have been a throwaway joke, the actions of Will Smith at last weekend's Oscar ceremony have brought the incident much more attention and press than it would have ever been given if it had been allowed to pass the same way as other jokes aimed at celebrities in attendance. They're right, and I don't see how this is impacting these movies. Like hundreds of millions of dollars go into making these, and it's not just his job that gets lost. It's the director, it's the co-directors, it's the first unit producers, it's the other actors, it's extras, credits. All these jobs now are getting lost because one dude slapped another dude. It proves why they have the amount of bargaining power they have when they negotiate contracts. If this guy's one bad action can stop hundreds of people from making money, then that's why they have the leverage to make the money they do when they make these movies. But it just seems like an overreaction to me to not just be like, okay, scold him, say, look, you can't come to next year's Oscars, give us a formal apology, and in a couple of months, nobody's going to remember this happened.
Well, if they were in the process of making these movies, it would have blown over a million times over by the time they actually released them.
Yeah, just don't talk about it. Like, just and then what'll happen is like 8
people
months.
People are so bored.
8 months down the line, people will see a trailer and somebody will be like, "Man, he hit that dude in that trailer the same way he hit Chris Rock. Holy shit!" And then nobody would have cared. It would have been old news by then.
Yeah.
So it just seems like an overreaction to me. I did find this article though that was rather not entertaining but illuminating. It says Ali star claims he was bullied on set by Will Smith. So maybe it's like chickens coming home to roost in a way, like bad karma. Are there believers in karma here? I don't know if there's believers in karma here.
Karma's always a bitch. It always comes back to you. Blah blah blah. Yeah, like my grandparents and mom will always tell me like, so they don't call it karma, they call it bop. So like you have bad bop, it always comes back to you immediately or somewhere later. So like a lot of my family will tell me like, yeah, you're gonna be homeless. Good luck, miracle.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's your family. As I told you before, your family has done you no favors, and you are doing very fantastically.
Yeah,
in life,
it's fine.
Without their help.
There's no trauma here.
Yeah. See, it's not as big of trauma as having people be mean about the movie you made, but
that's really triggering.
Yeah.
Yes, that's as we know. So I don't know if you believe in karma.
I, for one, do not believe in karma because there are so many people doing so much evil and not facing consequences until they die.
Yeah.
So it says, as per The Sun, his Ali co-star Paul Rodriguez has revealed the issues he had with Will Smith while the two were filming the movie based on a 10-year period in Muhammad Ali's life, saying this: Chris Rock only took one slap at the Oscars, but I took a verbal slap from Will Smith every day, and sometimes I think the emotional injuries are just as deep.
What if it's like
I'm trying to give this dude the benefit, like, unless this dude was like saying like the most heinous, like if this dude is just like your acting sucks, like, big deal, dude, get over it. Like, this just feels to me like somebody's seeking attention. Like, he's like, Will Smith's hot right now. Yeah. Oh, look at it. Everyone's mad at Will Smith. I'll tell them my negative Will Smith story. It continues. He says, and sometimes I think that the emotional damages are just as deep, if not deeper, than the physical ones. That movie was meant to be a huge stepping stone in my career, but for me it ended up being a nightmare because of all the sickening abuse I got from Smith. He was evil to me, but nice to everyone else. It was sort of like Jekyll and Hyde.
You know what? Maybe he did something to deserve it.
He could have, and also it's like evil is one of those words. I don't throw that word around very often. I make it a point, like when I talk about it, I think that the media, like corporate media, is evil. I mean, when I say that, I say I know how much that word should entail when you say it. That when I think something is evil, I don't think if this dude was like, you're a bad actor and you suck at this, like that's not evil. That's just being an asshole.
He didn't really go into much detail about what that really meant.
And these things are pretty common, like where it's like, what happened? Because maybe he's like recalling the stories, like, and then he called me a name. It just doesn't quite have the same emotional impact as saying something as flowery as all of the sickening. Like he eloquently states what happened to him without actually saying what happened to him.
Yeah.
So it says the comedian claimed the entire ordeal caused his acting career to fall apart and said he kept a diary to document the overall experience. I see fishing for a book deal right here. Rodriguez portrayed Muhammad Ali's doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, while Smith filled the boots of the legendary boxer. It's actually a really good movie. If you guys haven't seen Ali, it's a Michael Mann film.
It's good.
It's a very good movie. I was a bigger fan of The Hurricane with Denzel Washington. But just my 2 cents.
Haven't seen either.
So it says his Rodriguez's motivation to reveal his encounter with Smith came after he witnessed the actor slap Chris Rock on live television after the comedian made a joke about Will's wife Jada Pinkett Smith's alopecia caused baldness. I like how he's saying it like, I couldn't stay silent anymore. I had to speak up.
Spurred to action.
He's like, I can know, like, I held what happened to me in for too long, and this just proves that I should have spoken out sooner. When really he's like, look at all the attention I could get if I speak out about this now.
Yeah.
So they find their ways of framing this stuff that I find to be kind of hilarious, but I don't think that this guy was motivated by the desire to protect fellow comedians if they're ever to end up on an award show. In fact, this is going to be funny because now anytime Will Smith is at an award show, there's going to be like fake Will Smith jokes. Yeah, like will they make fun of Will Smith or won't they jokes? And they're going to have to be like really like, or they're going to make one and then like cover up and like it'll turn into physical comedy.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. Or he just like he just won't go to award. He'll end up going back to award shows. He wouldn't even leave that one. So
yeah. Well, what if what happened was he misinterpreted? Like, you know how people say like negative things, but it's more like words of endearment. What if he mistook that? He's just making it dramatic.
He just didn't.
I'd love to know direct quotes.
Yeah, I want this. We're demanding it. Direct quotes, please.
Are we talking about the
person that's accusing Will Smith?
Okay, the Rodriguez.
Annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to know exactly what he said. Like if there's like kind of like the Christian Bale blow up at on the set of Terminator. Good for you. Like I want to see like if there was a Will Smith version of that with this guy who's just maybe like the guy doesn't want to because it actually shows that he's like a really bad actor. Like he couldn't get any of his lines right, and Will's just getting really frustrated. He's like, dude, we've been on set for 15 hours. You haven't hit one of your marks. It's time to do your job. And the guy just took that as really traumatizing.
Oh, boo-hoo.
To be fair, if a woman came out saying that Will Smith had given her sickening abuse, I think a lot of people would care.
Yes.
But this is just like, what are you talking about, dude?
He's a dude. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't. He doesn't matter. This dude doesn't matter.
It's okay.
He doesn't matter.
Everybody will just fight over Will wrong or right, and this will last like maybe the next month.
And me and you, we had
Maybe
like
a week.
Yeah.
It was like I was surprised it made it more than 2 or 3 days. Like one of the reasons I'm covering this now is because it does feel like, why is this still a thing? Like I was literally waiting. I'm like, but Ukraine, am I right? Like nobody's talking about. No, Americans are vapid and have no no ability to focus beyond like what the current thing is. So
now we're talking about neither one.
Yes, exactly. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.